I'm very proud to present team swam.js with their app, Just Choose. Take it away.
Thank you very much, everyone. As you can see, we are team swam.js. We are Scott, Will, Amar, and Matthew, and this is our app, Just Choose. So we've all been in situations where you go out for a meal and there's a big group of everyone and no one knows where to go. And then secretly, once you've decided where to go, everyone's not happy with it because it's just one person who makes a decision. This actually happened on the course. Every Friday, we used to like to treat ourselves to all the nice places around Manchester, but no one knew where to go. So it was always lumped on Will, and we used to make him pick new places every week. So it was quite hard for him. So we thought this is a great app idea. So essentially what the app is an organizer can create an event, put in a postcode, and then basically curate a list of, say, 10 restaurants, send it out to their friends via a web link, and then the friends can just vote. And then it takes all the issues out of it, and then the only thing you have to do is just turn up once you find out what the winning restaurant is. So without further ado, I'd like to hand it over to Will, who's going to demo through it.
Thank you very much, Matt. So this is the app, Just Choose. It's going to take you through a demo. When you first go on a landing page, you'll be prompted to take some details. Try to make it as simple as possible because let's face it, nobody likes filling in forms. All we take is your name, last name, email, password, just the usual stuff. Then we can then register and your account will then still be in the database. So once you're signed up, you'll then be prompted to log in. And we'll just please bear with us a sec while Scott logs us in. So once you've logged in, you get taken to a dashboard where you can then create an event. From here, you would then put in either a location or a name of the place you're visiting. In this case, we're into Northcoders. Let's go choose a price range. Looks like we're pushing the boat out today. We're going to take £3 and we'll sort it by rating. We'll then generate a list of restaurants taken from the Yelp API. From here, you can view like the ratings, the number of reviews, the price, the distance, and add all the restaurants to a short list, should you please. When you're happy with your list, you can then review your list. And on your shortlist screen, you can add and remove programs. Maybe you don't fancy going there. You can add more restaurants if you want to. Give your event a name. When you're happy with that, set a deadline. And once you set a date and a time, you'll then be taken to the next screen where you generate a URL. With this URL, you can then copy and paste it and send it to all the people to participate in the event, whether that be your friends, family, whoever, or even strangers if you fancy it. You'll be then taken to a voting screen where you can be able to swipe left, swipe right on the restaurants that you fancy. You can click the restaurant link if you want to find out more information about the restaurant. When you finish voting, you'll then be told to wait until the deadline. And when it's hit the deadline, it looks like we're going to Hawksmoor, Manchester. You can view the winner and see all the results, and also view more information about the winning restaurant. In addition to that, when you log into your account, you can view event history. So any events you've created in the past, you can then go and view the winning restaurants plus all the votes and see all the remaining restaurants that you've in the same list. So that concludes the demo. I will pass you over to Scott, who will take you through our tech stack.
Oh. Cheers, Will. Yeah, so just talk to you quickly about the tech stack. When we first started developing, we were very, very thorough in our planning. As you can see in the distance there, these images. We've got a Trello board, we've got a Camden board, which we use Trello on, and we use it to lay out our tasks. We carefully color-coded everything we needed to do into the different sections over in, and as we completed a task, we move it across, which was very satisfying. Got a really detailed Figma board, which was really beneficial. It helped us map out the user journeys in our head, so we understood exactly what the different journeys were for the organizer, for the voter, etc. And then we also did daily stand-ups every morning, where we actually did stand up and discuss what we had done on the previous day. In terms of tech, we knew we wanted to use Node.js on the back end. That's where all our experience lies, but we spent a lot of time debating what kind of database to use, relational versus non-relational. We realized that because we're going to be storing large amounts of data on restaurants in the database, but only ever specific to one event, there'd never be a need to query a restaurant object as a standalone entity. You'd only ever want to find out about it related to a specific event. So we went with non-relational, as that would allow us to directly access it through the event ID, which would be the quickest way to do that. Between Mongo and Firebase, we had a bit of a discussion there and ultimately went with Mongo because it gave us the option to have a local database on our machines, which we thought might be beneficial. In terms of the front end, we looked at Vue, Svelte, Angular, React, React Native, all the big players. We did want to use React Native to get some experience with creating an Android iPhone app, but ultimately the user experience of our app dictates that it should be a web app, really. We didn't want to force people to have to download an app just to make a vote on where you're going for dinner that Friday. So in the end, we went with React so we can make a really accessible web app that would be really swift and easy to use. And then finally, we use TypeScript as well because, again, we're passing quite large data objects from front end to back end through all the components, and the data objects were getting manipulated at different phases to have different information depending on what we needed at different points. And with 4 of us working on that at the same time, we knew it was going to be important to statically type our data so to achieve some consistency across it and make sure there weren't any errors that would appear in the app. And it worked really well. We've not done TypeScript on the course, so it was a learning curve to implement that from the get-go. But I think by the end, we're all very comfortable with it and we can see the benefits of it. I'll let Amar tell you about some of the challenges and setbacks we had.
Hi, everyone. I'm Amar. Thanks, Scott. Yes, is the right one? Yeah. So the challenges were like with every app, we wanted to add more stuff. We want to add more stuff, but we were constrained with time of 2 weeks. So we decided to stick to MVP, and because we had like 100 of ideas which we wanted to stick to, but yeah, time constraints. In terms of the front end, we were having issues relating the on the front end, we used TripAdvisor API, which was the initial plan, but we changed it to Yelp API. The problem was we couldn't have the commercial API key for the TripAdvisor. So we had our issues sorted. We thought we had our issues sorted with TripAdvisor. It turned out we had another issue with Yelp API. So what was the issue? The issue was that it wasn't working good with our front end. So what we did was make our back end ask for data, and from there we would give the data to our front end, so it could work. And on the front end, we were all divided into different pair programming versus doing it individually. So at that time, we had a lot of experience with GitHub. And it gave us a lot of edge over working with branches, merge, pull request, reviewing code. And for the database, we were talking about, like Scott says, we were going to use, we opted out for MongoDB. But due to our restrictions on the hardware that we had, we decided to go for MongoDB, that is serverless. So yeah, with that, I'll hand over to Matt. Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, so finally, I'd just like to talk about stuff that we'd like to implement given more time. So given what Amar said, when we first started planning, like we wanted everything to be in the MVP. Like we thought, oh yeah, everything's great, but we, prioritized and then decided what our actual MVP would be, what you've seen on the demo. So for example, we would like to just add a map view when an organizer is making an event so they can see it just when they're creating that list. And then finally, just to introduce some social elements such as chat and comments and the rest that you can see there. So yeah, that is team swam.js, and that's been our app, Just Choose. Thank you very much. And if you've got any questions, thank you.